Good morning. Welcome to Hindu Newspaper Analysis 14th November 2022. First and foremost, happy Children's Day for all. We all well know that Jawaharlal Nehru said, today's children are tomorrow's citizens. I hope we will continue to give a better education and better health facilities for all of our children so that we can make healthy, a prosperous India. First article discusses about G20 summit to focus on food energy security. If you observe the evolution of G20, it was beginning in the initial days, it is just finance ministers and central banks meeting in 1998. But in 2007, when global countries witnessed a recession or decline in demand, at that time we witnessed G20, which was a finance ministers and a central bank governors summit, updated to a state level meeting. State of heads meeting. Then 2008, 2007, 8, we have series of meetings in USA. 2010, it was shifted to London, later Toronto, Seoul. Similarly, every year it became a custom to conduct G20 meetings in different countries. So this year, it is Indonesia going to conduct the G20 meeting at the time of crisis and chaos. Crisis because of the pandemic, chaos because of Ukraine-Russia war. If I say why G20, if one asks why G20 is important, it consists of 80% of global GDP, 75% of trade and 2/3 of population. And estimates mention that it includes 60% of global area also. So that is a significance of G20. What is further important is next year we are going to conduct G20 meeting, and that is significant more. So now G20 is focusing on not only on finance issues, it also focuses on environment, food security, inflation and so on and so forth. Next year is important two aspects. One, we are also conducting SCO meeting. So it is quite important to understand all these importance. The logo for the next year meeting is One Earth, One Future, One Family. So this is the logo. Logo is lotus and this is the motto and our slogan of our G20 meeting next year's. Next, conduct Spandana regularly, DGP directs SHOs. Try to understand, this is not at all important point to write anything, but the thing is, in GS2 answers implementation of policies or implementation of any schemes, we will find out this problem of lack of grievance redressal in a signal for bad governance. For a good governance, grievance redressal is one of the core elements according to the World Bank. So for that, Andhra Pradesh conducting Spandana, this kind of activity should be done by every department and every government which is helpful in grievance redressals. Next, NABARD holds stall in mall for artisans. This article highlights that NABARD conducting a 90 days stall in mall program where rural artisans can enhance their market facilities. This is promoting an option to Kondapalli toys, Etikopaka toys, Padana Kalamkaris and Machilipatnam imitation jewelries, Venkatagiri Uppada, handlooms, etc. So all these things are important. Particularly Kondapalli toys also got GI tag. Kalamkari is very famous because it brought from even Persia culture itself. Next article talks about editorial talks about water conservation, recent groundwater report, saving the precious water. We are conducting Water Week, and on that aspect, 2 days back also we got an article. Yesterday also we got an article talking about groundwater itself. So 2/3 of our irrigation requirements met by groundwater. 50% of our industries or urban areas dependent on groundwater. 85% of our rural areas dependent on groundwater. We have a groundwater board which established in 1980s, and from then onwards they are conducting regular meetings. Unfortunately, according to Himanshu Thakkar, a water resource expert, we are only focusing on getting the assessment, not the regulatory or monitoring aspects. Groundwater in India need lot of attention. Particularly, you can inspire from USA where they regulate the groundwater in the protected areas where the water is declining. Decentralized information planning execution is need of the hour. Categorization is also quite important. Apart from categorization, decentralization, according to Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, decentralization is an effective tool in good governance. So decentralization of this groundwater data in the local language, particularly with the Panchayati Raj institutions, also very important. AI driven data which can provide dynamic reports is also important. Micro level management is needed of the hour, and we have good number of schemes here. For example, Atal Bhujal Yojana, Jal Kranti Yojana, and recent Jal Jeevan Mission all are aiming to recharge the groundwater. Further, we need to conserve the wetlands which plays an important role in water conservation. So all these are quite important and interesting also. Next, collegium system is appointing judges is perfect. XCJI. You know very well that collegium is not evaluated from the constitution. Article 124 clause 2 describes that president will appoint the judges. Collegium system evolved from 3 judges cases. One must read 3 judges cases very well. If you need a separate video on it, please let me know so that we can make a video on it. However, collegium system was prized by Justice U. Lalit, the ex-CJI, praised this system as one of the best one. But unfortunately, India is the only democratic country which depends on this collegium systems till today. Next, Adar explains, beware the tempting apple of Ukraine mediation. This was Vivek Kajju, one of the famous diplomat who is expert in international relations. Here, he advised that India should not get any kind of West influence in encouraging mediation, because we already faced some issues when we interfered into the Afghan mediation in 1980s. So, Adar categorically suggesting that India is better to involve at a neutral position, should not involve in any kind of provocative statements of mediation or something like that. It was after the S. Jaishankar giving advice that they can mediate the diplomatic talks. However, entire article is anticipation and it is talking about some hypothetical aspects and some historical aspects also. Not very much important for GS students. One thing is important. At the end of the article, S. Jaishankar clearly stated that it is the global economic interdependency was raised, and right now any conflicts in the world is affecting the food and energy requirements of the countries. That is important and enough for us. Next article, curious case of EWS. Here, even from last 2 days, we witnessed continuous articles with respect to EWS, and it is well known that after this Janhit Abhiyan case judgment, we got series of articles. Here others are explaining about it is bad and it is injustice to have EWS reservations. Here they brought out the observations of B.R. Ambedkar and E.V. Periyar, who said that reservations are not poverty alleviations, they are just representations. Caste based is one which was to correct the historical injustice. It was idea. However, the economic weaker sections is always not acceptable thing, because even you can, if you remember Ravindra Bhatt judgment, just watch the video, you can get the clarity. It also mentioned that there are several inequalities even among the different castes itself. Here others quoted that according to Department of Revenue, only less than 1% of Indian population earning more than 10 lakhs per annum. So this is a quite unfortunate situation. Apart from that, even throughout the India, below poverty line is also very high. So only few people are earning good amount, and even international policy research on poverty also mentioned that in India, villages, 2/3 of villages not able to buy nutrition products or food products. So that is how the poverty level is right in India. But unfortunately, these reservations are not at all caring the other weaker sections. It is only giving importance to economic weaker sections. That is unfortunate. So that's all for today. Have a great day and thank you and Jai Hind.